So, Deviantart. While it's pretty dead now, it was the place you could go to see some of the most unique art you'd find on the internet. I mean, I posted all my old art to DeviantArt, and we all saw how that turned out. And, by the way, for those of you who asked me to drop the handle, no, I respect myself too much for that. And besides, the 43 pages of cringe are in storage anyway. Let's keep it moving. Anyway, if you use DeviantArt, you definitely remember DeviantArt points, and those little shits literally ruined everything. So let's talk about them, because I also remember them, and I'm mad about them. Roll that speed paint, editing me. I joined DeviantArt in December 2009, and I was actually below the minimum age requirement, so I hope we can all keep that a secret, so DeviantArt, please don't come kick my ass 13 years later. That being said, DeviantArt points were first introduced to the site in March 2010, and I feel like I can't remember a time where they didn't exist. My earliest DeviantArt memories are filled with point commissions, point adoptables, and a lot of people just outright begging for points. What were we even doing with these points? Why were we hoarding them? It was a dark time back then. So points were supposed to be like DeviantArt's virtual currency. It was supposed to be that 100 points was about equal to 1 USD, but I'm not exactly sure if that was common knowledge or not, especially to a bunch of kids drawing anime and furry art, because I remember back then 100 points seemed like a huge amount of points. If you had 100 points, you had enough points to build a house in real life. I remember once my parents bought me 2,000 points because, I don't know, they probably didn't even know either. But I felt absolutely rich. I felt like I was straight ballin' out there. Don't talk to me, peasant. I have 2,000 DeviantArt points, so I'm a pretty big deal. Didn't realize my 2,000 points was only equal to $20 USD, and that's the whole problem with points. Having a virtual currency made it easy to buy and sell art, especially for kids under 18 who didn't have access to PayPal yet. Not only that, but you could use points in DeviantArt's official store too, so you could buy premium membership and whatever else they were selling with them. Did anyone actually buy those weird plushies of their mascot? But anyway, they were easy to obtain and use, and there was an option to convert DA points to money once you hit a certain threshold, so in theory this should have been a pretty alright idea. Except it wasn't, and caused artists to charge literal pennies for their art. Like I said, the points to USD conversion wasn't clear at all, especially to younger artists, which was a pretty large part of DeviantArt's user base. In the beginning, I remember it was super common to see a full-body, beautifully rendered art commission going for 100 points. Which again is about $1. Hours of work for $1. And the worst part is, that seemed expensive. Artists that were brave enough to ask for 500 points, which remember is about 5 USD for the same piece of art, were seen as being super overpriced. And this was something that was very common. I remember making adoptables and doing fully shaded commissions back then, and shout out to everyone who bought my middle school art, you are the realest ones. And I would charge anywhere between 5 to 30 points for these. Literal pennies. And I thought this was fair. And it's not like I was the only one doing this either. It was so common to see adoptables going for only 20 points, for commissions going for 30 points, for sketches going for 5 points. And it felt like none of us realized we were putting in so much work to get nothing in return, all because it felt good to slowly accumulate points in your account. Now, I said there were ways to convert points into money. So now you're thinking, okay, great, you could take your 20-cent commission to the gas station and get a singular stick of gum. But no, it wasn't a simple conversion. It was some convoluted nonsense, because of course it was. On everyone's page was a button to give points. So typically, when you bought your $2 commission or adoptable from someone, you would go to their page, click the Give Points button, enter in the point amount, and that was how you paid them. Easy, right? Well, now let me let you in on the dark secret. Any points that were given out this way were ineligible to be cashed out for money. That's right. If you used the Give Points feature, like 99.9% of the DeviantArt population did, they couldn't convert their points into money, so they were stuck with the literal useless currency. In order to convert points to money, you had to use something which I believe was called the Commissions widget, which was a special pool with its own Give Points button that was displayed on your page. Only points received through the Commissions widget were classified as, quote, earnings, which meant you can convert them to money that could be withdrawn via PayPal. To make this even better, when you used the Give Points feature to give someone points, the person got the full amount of points. DeviantArt took no cut of it. 100% of what you gave is what they got. However, through the commissions widget, the only way DeviantArt allowed artists to make money on their site, DeviantArt took 20% of the sales made, which you know is a huge percentage. I said that points were introduced in 2010. So, you think to yourself, that means the commissions widget was also introduced in 2010, right? No, it was not. The commissions widget wasn't introduced until 2013, 3 whole years later. That's right, if you did point commissions between 2010 and 2013, there was no way whatsoever to convert your points to actual usable money, and DeviantArt would tell you to go pound sand if you tried to ask. Some people tried the loophole of making a secondary account and setting the points they already earned through their commissions widget like that, to actually be able to withdraw their earnings. But no, DeviantArt would just ban you for that, so now you didn't have your real or fake currency. Great! Let me make you even more mad now. The commissions widget, the only way to convert points to money, wasn't introduced until 3 years after points were. If you did commissions before 2013, you wasted your time because you didn't get paid anything of real value. And then, not only did DeviantArt take a 20% cut of your commissions widget, but you had to be a premium member to even have the option to use it. That's right! In order to make money on your art, which again, they were taking a massive cut of, you also had to give them money because, I don't know, go fuck yourself, I guess. Think of how ridiculous this sounds. That's like if a site like Mercari, which if you don't know is a site for buying and selling secondhand goods, charged you in order to make an account on their site. Mercari also takes a fee for every sale you make on the app, but can you guess how much of a percentage they take? If you guess less than 3%, you're correct. An app for selling your used crap takes way less of a percentage than DeviantArt did for artists trying to sell commissions. After royally screwing artists over on their site by making them jump through hoops and forcing them to fork over money in order to try to make some, DeviantArt employee commissions really skewed the way of a lot of people looked at commission prices. Because people were only charging like 50 points for a fully rendered piece of art, once prices were in USD, artists started severely undercharging. Anything in the $100 USD range became seen as quite a ripoff, and the problem with art being a luxury meant that some people who were used to DeviantArt points weren't willing to actually pay fair prices now, because they were so used to paying literal pennies for art. Whew, that was a big old rant, it seems. The whole thing just makes me really mad whenever I go back and think about it. I think it's gotten better now. I haven't seen such ridiculous undercharging like I did a few years ago, but I still see a lot of artists, especially on Twitter, undervaluing themselves. To the point I always see posts going around saying if you feel the artist is undercharging, tip them amount you think they deserve to get paid. And don't get me wrong, tipping your artist is great and wonderful and never a bad thing. But it's sad that a lot of artists don't feel confident enough to fairly value their work, and it becomes up to the commissioner to decide if they're worth it or not. All in all, we hate DeviantArt. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. But to anyone out there who does commission work, please make sure you're pricing yourself fairly. Don't work for peanuts. I understand there's a lot more nuance to pricing aside from just saying charge whatever the hell you want, but I hope you get what I'm getting at here. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Every like on this video is a fuck you to DeviantArt, and if you liked it, it'd mean the world if you could subscribe. I'll catch you all in the next one.